Welcome to Mori, episode 10. I'm with Q-ball and Koma. Say hi.
Hi guys.
Hi everyone.
Sup? Okay, well, been a while since being last on. Like, last one was like a month ago or something. So, yeah, that was with Cross the Spider-Verse. We talked about it back then, but okay. And it's not as hot as it is now. Well, in Italy, it's like 45 in some places, so it's not that great, I guess. But hey, yeah, can you do about it? And Takia
Yeah, the
turned
heat is
35
definitely
today. So it's also a nice topic we can talk about. I mean, I've seen Akira multiple times on TV or from a DVD set, online, whatnot. Not in cinema, unfortunately. It should be coming out sometime, maybe this year, something, or like next year, but I hope soon. So, yeah. You two ever seen it in cinema or like just online, DVD, VHS, whatnot?
VHS, then TV maybe, and then on the internet.
Same for you, Q?
I'm trying to think if there's ever been a. I think there's been one anime movie. Actually, no wait. There's probably been the Pokemon movies were probably the only movies that were shown in cinemas here. That was an anime movie. I think there was one other more recently, but yeah,
Mm.
that's kind of a rare thing, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
well, and the first time I saw Akira, it was actually on a friend's PS2.
Oh,
Um, a lot of people don't remember, but at the time, a standalone DVD player might have cost a similar price as the PS2. So the PS2 at the
ah,
time was kind of a good value because you would get
yeah,
both,
yeah. You get
DVD
games and
player.
DVDs, so yeah, yeah. It's a DVD
Right,
player and games. Yeah.
It was
right.
one of the major selling point of the system, the fact that it was also a DVD player in a time when DVD became common, and it was more affordable than early DVD players. So you got a PS2 as well. It
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sony tried to do the same with PS3 with the Blu-ray format, but unfortunately for them, it didn't work out the same way it did for DVDs because at that point people started to use the internet more and
Mm,
physical
these-
media started to become not as important
More
as
obsolete.
digital.
Yeah, yeah. There was
Yeah,
no
yeah,
point for them anymore. And
yeah.
DVDs are still being released, and it's funny enough. Like if you use a PS4 bijvoorbeeld of a PS5, you can still run DVDs from like 20 years ago, from like 2000, 2001 or older. And if you want to do CDs, yeah, no luck on that. So you can play 20-year-old DVDs, but no CDs. It's a bit weird, obviously, if they're both still around and still being purchased. But one is more dead than the other. But still, I mean, why not? Why not have CDs if you can do that? But yeah, it's getting more and more obsolete. Trying to get a good deck to play all that.
I'm trying to think. I think the PlayStation 4 can't play CDs, but I think the
Mhm.
Xbox can.
Yeah, there's an app
Um,
for it.
You can get, I mean, you need to download the music player from the App Store, I think, from the
but
Microsoft Store. In order to play,
right.
you can't play a music CD out of the box without installing it. The last,
But
continue.
I'm just saying. I think Sony blocked it on PS4 so that they could sell. I think it's Crackle. I think they have a music. They have a music app that they wanted to play instead of your old CDs.
Just an
So it's
online
like,
service. Yeah, yeah,
what's
yeah. I
that?
mean, Spotify or Crackle or any of those things sell better if it's all online, obviously, than just putting a CD in and getting that all done. I guess they still
Yeah,
did because they can, there's still media that's just not online, so you can still play it. Same
well,
with the
I
Blu-ray.
think it might be yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why they kept the DVD and left the CD. But the PS3, not a lot of people seem to pay attention to this, but the PS3, any PS3 could play PS1 discs. Um,
Mm.
so the PS3 actually has a lot more, and you could use any. It seems like whenever a console is in the winning spot in the console wars, they do a lot of anti-consumer things. So I think Sony was kind of in the losing spot in the age of PS3. So they allowed all kinds of things that they wouldn't allow now. You could use any Blu-ray. I mean, you could use any
Yeah,
Bluetooth device. You could play CDs.
yeah,
Stuff
yeah,
that
yeah,
they
yeah.
yeah. I'm not sure if 3D Blu-rays are even playable on PS4 or even Xbox.
Mm.
That is it's kind of sad to see that format
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
die. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it would have been interesting to see anime in that format. I don't think there's ever been a 3D anime show, although I could have been wrong.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, at home we still have like DVDs players, and I have one Blu-ray DVDs Blu-ray player that can play every DVD that's out there. It's just modded that way, so it's pretty handy if you want any region. And we have a computer that can still have one. Then I have a small DVDs player, and then I have a PlayStation 2, but that doesn't really work sometimes. The thing is 20 years old, so the laser is not that in good condition. So that
You
some DVDs
can
will, but others
you
not.
can get can put an HDD inside, play games without the CD drive nowadays. You can
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that
yeah. I know, I know. That's also
with
modded. I can play it with my. I can play games with my USB. It just put in the what was it again? A file from the game that you download. Put it on there and put it on and put it in the PS2 and you can play it all. So yeah. I've been using that for a few years now with like for some reason my Shadow of the Colossus disc don't want to play on any of their machines. I don't know why that is. There's nothing wrong with the CDs. They work on the computer barely because the thing can barely run them, but yeah, so USB is still pretty handy if you want to play games, even Japanese games or other games that were ever put out, so I can still play.
Yeah, although the PS2 emulator it has become really decent.
Mm,
If you wanna play it in HD with the best graphics, unless you are prepared to invest in something like an upscaler, there's no point in using an original PS1 2 nowadays,
no,
seeing
no, no.
as how far the emulation has gone.
Mm,
And yeah, I wanted to actually try some game with the emulator now that I have a new PC. It's going to be fun.
which one?
Probably Shadow of the Colossus and a few
Ah,
other games from that era. Although, some of them have been remastered for PS4 or PS5.
yeah. But yeah, the old ones have a bit more charm, I guess, than a new one. The new one looks better, obviously, but like the old one had way more to show than the new version, and it actually has a secret this time, like 75 steps of enlightenments that you find these coins scattered around the world, and then you can open up a door. Because in the original games they thought that there was a secret, and it just went on for pages and pages and pages on a forum just to get the thing. But there was never a secret to be there. But hey, they still discovered a lot of new things, like Nomads was trying to find on YouTube for like years now. He's been like for 12, 15 years or something on there, trying to find stuff.
I see.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
didn't realize there were like this is where he was where he was able to reach the top of the tower
Yeah, but
in
just
chat.
yeah, you've been getting to the tower, top of the tower with some climbing because you can actually climb the whole thing or use some glitches to get up there. You also find a dam like outside of the boundaries that you could actually land on. Some of the creatures that were caught, some other pieces that were just never found, or just finding where the colossus were stored, or other assets or other demo discs that he found like last year, like the original from a Comic Con that had a demo was lost, found, and they went through that. And now they're building actually a game with all the other Colossus that were cut from it. So they try with all the footage that we have and photos to remake some kind of simulator just to see how these things moved. So yeah, it's also interesting stuff that people still try to this day to get to work. It's a long process.
Yeah, I recently got the PS4 one on a sale, but I haven't beaten it yet. But I
Mm,
actually think and people talk about this. I think there's an argument to be made that sometimes in remakes, like when you look at like in Shadow of the Colossus, there might be like a lot of what appear now to be barren areas, because
mm,
maybe the PS2 couldn't do like lush fields of grass or something.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
sometimes I think maybe that is what they wanted to do. Maybe that is
Yeah, have that
sometimes
feel of like this giant world you can
yeah.
just traverse around, discover stuff, and just be a part of the world as it may, while not knowing
But then it's
everything about the characters.
like it might have been a case of where like limitations and the art direction kind of meet together, like Silent Hill One.
Yeah.
Like part of why that game is so scary is the freakish low fineness of it.
Mm-hmm.
And your mind almost has to fit in. Well, what does this thing actually represent?
Yeah.
And I feel like it makes it more scary. And I think like a lot of old games, uh, they like that. Like they work in a way because of the low fidelity, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's so low graphics that it actually makes you want to traverse it and to explore it and try to find anything more about it than just being really polished and you can find everything and it's really easy to see. Then it's just like loses its magic in a way, you could say.
Yeah. You know, and like I've been playing Breath of the Wild, and I'm thinking, not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and
Hmm.
if it had a higher fidelity graphics, it would have probably still be in production, for another 6 years or something.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think this is like where not that Zelda is an indie game by any stretch, but I mean games that have lower fidelity graphics kind of um it allows them to try things that you wouldn't see in a AAA game then.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
Starfield take 50 years, you know, and No Man's Sky was, and us, well, maybe they should have taken longer, but I think like if Starfield wasn't trying to be so cutting edge with all the graphics, it would have probably be out. And also, what was the other one? Star Citizen. I think that's still not fully out yet.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You put every boundary at once, and it's taking forever. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, what are other games that I really played that are like that? Maybe like,
Well,
mm,
I mean, you look at like I haven't played it, but I hear good things about FTL, and that is like uh a 2D game, like. But I was talking to a friend who played it, and I asked him, if this game had higher fidelity graphics, it would have been like much more complicated to make. In fact, it's probably an idea that easier to. Well, 2D I think is generally easier to make stuff and
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of maybe prototype stuff faster. You know,
yeah,
uh, I mean, it's not as triple A or whatever, but it also means you could get different types of games, different kinds of games that would be impossible to make in 3D.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
what
yeah,
was
yeah.
this one? That was a 2D kind of Terraria game, but in space. Starbound, I think it was.
I haven't played that, so yeah. I mean, you have games like Silent Hill. That was literally all the fog and all that was made just to hide the limitations to the engine. Like, you can't see trees anymore, or the landscape just ends there, or you can. But in core of that, you actually made the game and the atmosphere and the thing, so it really works in its way.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think Silent Hill One is the perfect example. I noticed. It's interesting. They choose to remake Silent Hill 2, but not Silent Hill 1. I wonder what the reason behind that was. Um, I
Mm,
guess Silent Hill 2 is viewed as the more um, is the more popular game, but maybe is there as much to gain from from remaking Silent Hill 2 versus 1? I was wondering that
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
Silent Hill 2 PS2 still looks good. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it still works. I mean, somebody tried to remaster it from. That was no, nobody tried to remaster it. That was Resident Evil 4. Yeah, somebody tried to remake Resident Evil 4 with real pictures. So going to all kinds of places, make pictures of different doors, statues, whatnot, and try to remake the whole thing as best and as high as quality as possible. And it kind of worked. You get like most of the game he could get in high resolution, but yeah, I mean, it's a tall order to really do that, obviously.
That was an interesting thing that I saw he was doing because he was actually finding the real pictures that some of this stuff was based on. Um, like some of the
Yeah.
doors on there, I think that some of them were like real places or stuff. Well, I think most of them were based on real photos, and some I think it was like crowdsourced too. Like people would see where the door was and send it to him. Or if he couldn't get like what stock photo it came from or which location it came from. I was looking at that, and I think there's still a lot of value in that version, even though the official remake has come out. I think I mean the remake is good on everything, but I feel like the original is still good too because it's so different.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's
Is
just a whole
almost
different experience altogether.
yeah, and there's I think like back then there was probably a little more into being as crazy as they wanted to and not caring because there was the what was it? Yeah, they removed some stuff like there's like this huge the huge statue that chases you. You remember that the one of the short guy.
Oh yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
took out that.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, of course, there are a lot of limitations to work with and to work around it to get to work. And finally, I have this image that like, took me way longer than I wanted to be. But yeah, it's like landscapes that is that you want to traverse. It's just so big that you just want to know what's at the other side of the mountain, basically. But yeah, maybe another
Yeah.
topic. Yesterday I saw in the cinema with a friend Sword of the Stranger, made by Bone Studio. That was also really damn nice. There was also lots of action, lots of like really good choreography of uh, all the fight scenes. So basically, this is set in the Middle Ages of Japan and against the Chinese, or the Chinese wants to trade goods. So they just work together, but they're not trusting of each other at all. They have this one boy that tries to outrun them because of reasons, and one lonely Ronin samurai that he finds at the temple. So they're gonna but they get in a bit of trouble. So they get into a fight. The dog, there's also a dog with them. The boy's dog gets hurt, then gets poisoned by one of the swords of the Chinese, and they have to save him, and that's where the story goes. And you also see some characters that are probably from Europe or the Netherlands or Germany or somewhere, because one of the big antagonists is like a blue-eyed, blonde-haired giant guy. So that's probably Dutch or German. I'm pretty damn sure. He only speaks Chinese, and his name isn't Chinese, but I'm pretty sure he's just from there because there's no way that he's from Japan at that time, obviously.
Because he's blonde. He's blonde.
Yeah, yeah, because he's blonde, he's got to be from here, and it also makes sense because they also trade a lot of stuff. So yeah, why not? And also one of the other main guys, so the samurai, is also with red hair, so also probably from Europe or somewhere around that. So yeah, that's also interesting. You have a lot of characters that are like obviously in Japan have or in anime have a lot of the like Dutch characters pop up because they traded so much stuff with each other. So why not do that? And then you have some Dutch dub that's also not that great, but it still works. Like even in Blade of the Immortal, you have this huge guy that just murders anybody with like one stroke of his blade. And you just have this really weak Dutch voice talking to me, and it's kind of funny, but oh well. I mean, why not?
Yeah, I see that. So I see that in like a lot of places, like where like I was watching the Chinese adaptation of Tree Body Problem, and they were like Western characters in there, American and their acting was like laughable, But I was wondering, I think that they got people, like Caucasian people, let's say from China, to do the acting, because I feel like even the most untrained actor that actually speaks the language would have delivered the line, better if he was actually native, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure about the background of the production of that show, but I don't know if you've I mentioned it before, but that is something you could definitely check out. And I actually think the whole thing is available officially on YouTube.
Okay. I mean, I guess they just went for the cheapest guy they can get, just to get in the show, just to say a few lines in English or whatnot, and be gone with it. I guess
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, I don't. Well, the show does have a pretty good budget. I want to see how they do the next season, because, yeah, that is when it started to get really crazy, and expensive. And the third season, well, the third season might just be them telling you, look, just read the book. This is going to cost $1 billion, and Netflix is also adapting it. But it's being adapted by the guys who did Game of Thrones. So I mean, you could make of that what you will.
Yeah. Last season was not that great, and the rest, oh well, there's probably a better chance to have a bit of better actors that can do English. So, yeah, or another language for all that matters. But yeah, that can be bad.
Well,
That can be good, though.
I, I wonder, a lot of people who read the book, I think, feel like is I don't know, they're wondering how it'll translate, like how will they present certain things that might be uh well, like the book seems to be like, the book is obviously from a very Chinese perspective, and I think
Yeah,
it's starting the Chinese cultural revolution, all this sort of thing. So
yeah.
I'm not sure they're kind of, because I feel like it's important for some of the things the characters do. If you don't have time to read the book, I know it's quite a long thing, but if you're a fan of Blam and the ideas in it, um, there's definitely a lot of stuff in it that
Quite interesting.
reminds me of it. Mega
Yeah,
structures, all these ideas.
yeah.
Like they almost treat like they've discovered the way to put people in cryostasis. So it's almost like um they could use it as time travel, one-way time travel, because
Yeah. Just be asleep at one point and then just be awake at another point and just like, oh shit, like 50 years or 20 years later, and it's like, oh shit has
yeah, it's
changed.
something I see
That happened.
like yeah, it's something I see in like a few sci-fi, like where people treat it almost like that, you know. And then sometimes they leave instructions, wake me if something interesting happens, like would you trust somebody to do that, like they don't leave
Yeah,
specific instructions, just wake me if something cool happens,
yeah,
and then
yeah. Yeah.
sometimes
Kind of,
people they hope for a better world, but then they wake up and they see it's a dystopian nightmare, 1,000 years in the future. That is not a good way to awaken. Yeah.
no. I mean, I like thinking about this one movie, Panduam or something like that, from like 2009, was it? And was like there was this spaceship, this huge colony spaceship that lost power, had some issues. People woke up from their stasis and they discovered that their whole ship was just taken over by these cannibalistic creatures, and probably humans, that's been experimented on, or through evolution it's just been fucked over, and it's just trying to eat you, and it just becomes this survival horror type stuff, trying to survive and trying to get out of there alive somehow. It's just a good movie. It really just hammers on yeah, more the atmosphere
What
and like the emotion and the acting and that kind of stuff. Maybe I can find it.
what
Um,
what's the name of it? Not Pandorum, right?
Maybe. Let me look. Hmm, um, yeah, Pandorum. Yeah, Pandorum from
Uh,
2009. Yeah, it's Pandorum.
yeah. I saw that long ago. I probably saw it on VHS.
Oh,
Or is it not that old? I'm not sure. I may be thinking of something else. 2009. I may not have been using VHS then.
yeah, that's
Well,
maybe 2008, 7, just in VHS. No clue if this was in VHS, but
Hmm. Do you guys still have a VHS player at home,
oh
or?
no, not me anymore. I mean, we had it back in the day, and I do have a TV that can still, use it, but I don't know. I don't have any tapes. Well, I do have two tapes. I have two anime tapes that I want to ship off to Kenny Laureldale to preserve them online, but he hasn't got back at me. So yeah, it's kind of a thing.
Really, I have
yeah.
two VHS player at my mom's house still. one of them should still be capable of playing VHS. The other one maybe is broken, but maybe it's fixable. But well, of course, I don't have a TV capable of making use of it.
Yeah.
What about you, qbhall? Do you have one?
Not anymore, sadly. But I do have a piece of media that I can't find online. And well, I don't know the condition of the tapes, but I did have it recorded from TV. Is actually, and I mentioned it before, the Sony dub of Samurai X, aka Rurouni Kenshin. Is
Yeah. The OAV, yeah, I watched it. Really great OAV series.
Yeah, it's kind of, but it's weird. It's like you would think, somebody would have uploaded it. I don't know. I don't think it was ever that dub was. I don't think was ever available on any kind of home media. They made another dub, that is the one that they sell, but that one is I mentioned before, is more accurate, but is also kind of more lifeless, and the guy, and I actually spoke to the actor at the time, and he said that he actually came to Trinidad for a convention, and he says, Kenshin was Kenshi in the Sony dub. He says, that I am, I'm a wanderer, that I am, I chopped that man in two, that I did. Nobody talks like that, but it probably sounds cool in Japanese, but it doesn't sound cool when they're saying it all the time.
No.
Yeah, so I suppose that's the literal translation, but it doesn't really work, so the more inaccurate dub, and people have a lot of nostalgia for that dub too, just being. I think that was probably the first thing that kind of really set off anime in a big way here in Trinidad. Because before that, we just had, because it showed on regular TV, like through the we had like 3 channels or whatever, and it showed on one of them, so everybody was able to see it, Yeah, that was kind of, it's so interesting that they actually got a good show. They show on local TV, and they probably got it for cheap too, because I think Sony wasn't able to sell the dub. That is why it was never really released on anything else. I think it might be
Yeah. I mean, I saw it when online when Insane recommended me to it. Like, you should really watch the OVA, like the early life of Kenshin. Like how that panned out, and it was also pretty nice. There's also really nice animation, nice backgrounds. The snow scenes were also pretty good, and the action, obviously, how brutal it can be, obviously. But yeah, the author had some problems. He had some pedo charges and was. I mean, I guess he was locked up for like a day or two, and then he got out. And then thing is, I mean, I guess the manga get a bit too easy out of there, and you get these feels like, fuck, should I still support him or just think about his work and not the guy that made it? So yeah, I don't know. Some manga just go this dark route for no reason really.
I mean, I think you need to separate the art from the artist, kind of a thing. There's a lot of there's a lot of work out there done by all kinds of people. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Sometimes maybe it's better not to look too much into the people that make. Yeah. They always say never meet your heroes.
Yeah. It can be disappointing. Yeah. I can see what you mean.
And I mean, I looked at the first episode of the remake. I think it was so far is almost like a beat by beat remake of the original. I don't notice anything different. I don't think they're using the one of the things that was huge about the original one was the soundtrack. I mean, it had like a really good soundtrack. I almost it can stand on its own. I don't feel like
Yeah,
this one. Well, I only heard a little bit, but I don't think they use. I will need to look at it again, but I think I heard a little something kind of reused from the original soundtrack, but I wasn't too sure. I'll need to look at it again and look at the next episode too, which should be out soon.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the the last arc of the manga I think has never been adapted fully. The original series kind of ended, in not a very interesting way because I think it had overtaken the manga. I think so. They kind of, you know how it goes.
Yeah. They get rushed. They want to get out of the door and just like shut down and just go to the next work. Yeah. Yeah, it's also the same problem.
Yes. So even the OAV didn't fully adapt it. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah,
I think there's
yeah.
like
Yeah, I can see what you
yeah,
mean. I mean,
you should definitely check it out.
I know there's also a lot of live action movies made about it, and that really worked well because, well, they're samurai movies, so those work well as live action movies, whereas others just feel miserably because, CGI, cosplay fest, or just other stuff going on that doesn't work very well.
Yeah, you mean because it's so grounded?
Mm.
It,
Yeah,
it, it,
it's
it
so
much more grounded. So maybe it don't be too crazy. Yeah, I mean, I know they're out there, and I know they're supposed to be good, but I never watched them. I mean, I don't know. I think this is the kind of thing that has to be animated.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of works better in some places, like what they can do with the style or the action, the whatnot, the different moves. It's like this is a bit easier to do it in animation than you would do it in real life because you need trained experts to do all these moves, or you just need some stunt double, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, there might be a better option to just do it 2D, but eh people try to cash in about that stuff, so they just make a very serious a live action. I mean, we have now a live action One Piece. Like the one trailer was released like this month or so. I mean, it could look worse, but some of the CGI didn't look that good. The characters look like they would look in the manga, I guess, and in the anime. But I mean, we still have to look for how that pans out. Any of you seen it?
No.
Sadness. It's not as bad as
Yeah.
you think.
I haven't even seen the original One Piece. So and I know that that is noteworthy for being is it the longest running anime? The most
Uh,
episodes?
well, there's one other that ran from like 1996 as a short anime of like a family. So it's like a morning cartoon basically for elderly people that just has this family doing stuff, like a bit like The Simpsons, but then more normal and a bit more family friendly, you could say. That has also been really long on. And then I guess the longest manga series is like from the 70s. It's like what was it? It was after One Piece. What was it again? It's about a sniper. Yeah, about a sniper. It's just an assassin
Oh,
flying, basically.
Golgo 13?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, bingo, that.
But that is a manga.
Yeah,
Or is it a
That's the longest.
uh,
After One Piece, that's the longest. But yeah, for anime, it's like the well known as well One Piece, and then you have the first one that I mentioned, but I forgot the name about it. It was again.
so imagine how long it will take the live action to catch up. I mean, we'll all be dead.
Oh boy! Oh, I don't even want to think about it, man. 1,000 episodes of that, Christ! I wouldn't even do that for that kind of stuff. And then the filler, snipping out the filler, and then just things. I mean, they just should do it as as a movie, just the first chapters maybe as a movie, and not the rest, because that becomes impossible with all the CGI you need, all the costumes, all the stuff. That becomes way too expensive, and probably is not gonna fall flat on its face, I guess. Even as a series, I don't think it's gonna work. I mean, they tried with Cowboy Bebop, and that really failed. That was canceled after one season, and we never gonna get anything of that anymore. So I don't think it would work for One Piece. No.
Uh,
Nevertheless, I would
maybe it's
like
three best.
to give it a try, even if I'm not that into One Piece myself. Actually, I know I don't read the manga. I don't watch the anime. I haven't watched it in God knows how many years because it's too long, and it's
Yeah.
I really
Same for me.
can't keep it up. I wonder how can people still follow something that goes on and goes on for so long. I
I
mean,
guess because they just repeat a lot of the beginning of the story so you don't forget where it's actually about. I mean, if they just did at the beginning of the series and never anymore, then yeah, people would just tune out because they don't know anymore what the fuck it's about. But if you, uh, you know, do it a few times, then people know, or just you can just look it up and whatnot. So you can still have the continuum and still have that story going on, I guess. So
oh yeah,
and different arcs in the story and that kind of stuff, and that's how they do that with that, I guess. I mean, they've literally a side that puts all the filler, preps all the filler out, and they snips all the filler out, and then just have the main story going on. But yeah, I've only watched some random episodes years ago, and that's about it for that series. I'm not gonna waste my time on so much of that stuff.
Yeah, I really should give it a try one of these days.
Hmm. At least the movies, just see how it works or how it how it flops, or just having a laugh at it. I mean, it's kind of, for some of them are kind of funny to see how bad they do. For like the Cowboy Bebop one, I also watched a few episodes, and some of the acting and some of them were really bad. The moments were pretty cringe, or just didn't bode well, or just the main antagonist didn't look like the main vicious, didn't look like from the anime, didn't look like him. Like he had the same Yakuza vibes and the same things going on, but just his face was just not there for some reason. The rest of the characters work
I don't,
well. They did their part, but yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like especially that it's difficult to adapt. I mean,
Mm,
think of the setting. Even if you look at the setting, it's like, yeah, this is to properly adapt this. How much would it actually cost? You know, I mean, it takes place in
mm.
space. Being a spaceship all the time, all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
We,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we, I can't imagine it having ever been made good.
Yeah, maybe the
You know,
budget that like they used for Alien or something like that, just having that detailed of a set to work for that, or just have some different actors play it. Although the Jack character for the live action series worked pretty well. He really did do his role pretty well. The rest worked, but I don't know. They need to be fine tuned a bit, and then one of the younger characters wasn't there at all and just shoved it in at the last episode or something, just to see if, oh no, this character's here too, and then it gets cancelled and you never see it again. So it's just kind of like, it doesn't really work. I mean, they had the original band, the seatbelts they had back, so you can watch, could hear that again, but it's just, yeah, it's just not the same, really. It works better as anime. I mean, Karen E. Lauderdale said also a few times, like, why would we want to have a live action adaptation if it already works in anime? Why would we have a different version of this? I mean, most of the time it doesn't even work, or it's just like too much work to even let it work, or too much cosplay, or it looks like cosplay that doesn't even work. I mean, you have like Ichi the Killer and like Old Boy, that really worked, but one was a manhwa, another one was a manga, but still, or like film or like mangas that are really just down to earth, in the real world. Those work majority of the time, but the rest doesn't work. Like they wanted to make an Helsing, a live action Helsing adaptation. Yeah, I really want to
Oh
see that.
Jesus.
How they gonna pull that off? Like, what kind of CGI and how are they gonna do Alucard and all these other characters? I mean, that's gonna be fun, or really boring, or really fun. I don't know. I would have wanted with the abridged characters, abridged voice actors. Just to work with that would be really fun. I don't know.
I, I mean, I have to wonder, is it people say, by using the existing uh IP, they're almost guaranteed to to have a higher chance at profit. But I find it hard to believe that a lot of these things make any kind of profit. I really don't believe it. Like,
No.
could you imagine Bebop making profit?
Mm,
Or being good for anybody? In fact, it's probably
yeah.
bad for the. It was probably like a bad career move for the actors too. It probably was a loss for them too. I don't know.
Yeah. 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 They said they had fun with it, but they're not getting
Yeah, but
much other work after
they have
this,
to
I
say
guess.
it. They pretty much have to like. I understand why actors always have to say that. It's like I'm not gonna shit on a project that I work on. I mean, because does that mean when people looking to hire me, they're gonna see, oh, this guy kind of crap on the project after we pay him for it. You don't want to work
Mm,
with this guy. You know what I mean? So yeah, I could see why they kind of had to big it up. I
yeah.
mean, I
Yeah.
definitely don't agree with attacking fans. Like a lot of times I feel like I see criticism when people are attacking fans, um, for not liking it. And they're saying all kinds of things about them, but uh,
Yeah. Death
if people
threats and
are
all that
criticism,
stuff.
yeah, I think people criticisms have to be valid, especially if they. I mean, you're one fans of the original show, right? In theory,
Mm.
right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, I remember with like the Death Note live action from like 2017. After that, the producers or like the director got death threats from fans. Like, how can you make something like this? I'm like, what's that gonna help? I'm like, sure, it's a shitty movie, but death threats. Well, like, what's that ever gonna help? And like, that's just fucked up to send to people just for just a bit of entertainment. They also do it with like manga artists. If they make like a bit more skimpy character, they're just gonna send death threats to them. Like, what's wrong with you? Don't do that to people. Just for some entertainment. That's just retarded, in my opinion.
Yeah, but overall, I really can't find a reason to watch live action. I mean, call me a purist, but I mean, what's the point for someone who already has watched the anime or read the manga to see something that, in a way or another, looks and probably feels so different
No.
compared to the original? I mean, even you mix up reality and something like an anime or a manga, which is close to impossible to properly reproduce with real actors. I mean, sure, you can do it. You can use CGI and all sort of special effects, and well,
Hmm.
it could work. But I mean, is there a reason for you to watch it?
Not
Do you
really.
really need it? Are you so much of a fan of that series that you must give a try to the live action as well? I mean, but of course, maybe it's me. Maybe something like Death Note can work better than
Yeah,
other things as a live action, but
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
I mean, yeah, they tried
I would
multiple
say
times. Death Note.
I would say this. I think Willem Dafoe was the best thing about it. You know, I think he was.
Yeah.
They probably they could have him without makeup. You know, I think that would be good too. Just kind of have him looking around. You know, he had that way about him. You know, in a good way.
Yeah.
I mean, he was. Did they even need makeup for him for Green Goblin? He could just be like that. That would be great. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's such a great.
Like that.
Yeah. You know, I could totally believe that. That was at least we could say we got something good from the Death Note adaptation. You know,
Yeah.
I think we
just
could
one
say that.
character, basically. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. That was really like the best stuff that he used for that. Yeah. I mean, the only like
But yeah,
live action adaptation for like Death Note that really worked was like 2006 adaptation, like the first one that really used. They just did the whole story basically to a T, only they changed a few locations. And yeah, then you just have the story and it just works. And then do over budget or whatnot. CGI for Ryuk doesn't look too great nowadays, but hey, it was the best attempt that they made at that. So yeah.
yeah, I agree with you, Koma. You know, I think is already in the best possible medium it could be for stories like this, right?
Yeah.
Like anything you do to try to adapt it to live action is going to be a problem because the whole point is that this is fantastic. We can't make this in live action. In fact, I would say that is
I mean, maybe they are.
I think of that.
I mean, maybe they just try to sell the story to other people that wouldn't watch the anime or read the manga, people that are not into those mediums. They try to appeal to those people and maybe get money out of it. I mean, this is the only explanation, maybe, of why live actions are a thing. But maybe I'm wrong. Like I said, I barely understand the phenomenon, and maybe in Japan it's different. Maybe you know more than I do.
I mean,
No, but I think I think I've heard that before, you know. But it's kind of like it's like a catch-22 kind of a thing, you know. It's like these fans. I am not sure that they exist. You know, the fans that they're trying to target. I am not sure that these are people that exist. It's a theory that people have, but you know, and if they do exist, I would imagine that the numbers in which they exist is so small that is it worth it to do this, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, all right. Well, let's put it like this then. Has there ever been a case where it's worked? Maybe.
Ichi the Killer worked.
But what was it looked at by fans of like the fans that Koma mentioned though? Was it did people like it who weren't fans of the original show? I mean, of the original manga.
Yeah, I mean,
Did it
both
attract more
parties
people?
really liked it. It's like fans of the manga and fans not of the manga really liked it. I mean, it was like one of the best sold movies at the time, I guess. It was pretty well received, like both parties, and still pretty well talked about even nowadays. Same for Old Boy. That's a manhwa, but you catch my drift. It's basically the same thing, but that was also really worked with like if you have the right directors and the right actors and just the story mostly you're like 99% just in the real world with no much CGI you can use, then you can really get with a story.
I don't know if you ever read the manga, but the original Old Boy comic is totally different. It he added the huge twist. That was a new addition. That's not in the original.
Yeah. I've read a bunch of the manga and also saw the end of the manga. Like with the old man in the movie, it was also really weird. He just changed into this giant and just beat him up. Sakamoto was it? Yeah, it was Sakamoto from the Tetsuo movies. Was the antagonist. That was also really weird, but hey, it works for a character like him. But yeah, it's a different than the manga. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I'm not even sure I understand the motivation. It's not as I could understand the motivation in the movie. I'm not sure I could understand it in the book, in the manga.
Yeah.
It's not as clear cut, you know.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
have you read that manga or seen that movie Koma? But Koma is he still on?
Sorry,
Mm.
yes, I'm on. I'm on. No, I haven't. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. We
Yeah.
can hear you. We can hear you. But yeah.
Yeah, have you seen Old Boy?
No, but I know the manga is released here in Italy.
Okay. But yeah, that is definitely a live action movie to check out. The obviously the 2003 Korean one, you know, not the American remake.
No, that's pretty bad. Yeah, I've seen bits of that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that
Yeah. Oh well.
they thought it was a good idea.
Mm.
You know,
Oh
that
well.
is like who was that made for? You know,
Yeah. I
it's
guess
kind
it
of
tried to just please a lot of people and just in general it really worked. Even outside the manga or manhwa scene, it just really worked and it worked in their favor. So for both parties, they had a good movie. So they got lucky with that, I guess, with the right people and the right director and etc. 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 But yeah, I mean, oh well. Other notes. Yesterday I finished the third version of the video on the Tsutomani and Mikomoko. Finally done that. Like the first two videos had just horrible audio, probably thanks to my laptop. So I'm not streaming on that anymore. Just using my Steam Deck right now, and it works pretty well because it's way more powerful. So and it doesn't have that much problem. So yeah, that video worked really out well. Put also some links into it, changed the title up, and yeah, now we have the same thing but just better. And plus, if you do it so many times, then you get the information better in your head and can just do the memory really fast. And already had all the images, so I could just splice through it all. So yeah, really worked really well in that regard. About 50
okay.
people have seen it now. So like, and yeah, no, it's all about manga that nobody talked about in like years and years, or never seen the light of day, like BBB or Ido or like From the Beyond When and Where. Especially the first ones that talked about, which is lucky that they even found it like me, scanned it in, got translated by you, Koma,
All
and got it
right,
out
yeah,
there. So
it was a pleasure to to do it.
only it took a long time for them to finally post it, but they got there eventually. I saw even that there was like was it Greek version of it or something, or like in
I
another
don't
version
know.
like a few
I don't
months ago.
know. The fun thing is that basically before us, the Russian translated it, but they actually got an upload that lacked a few pages, I guess, or
Yeah, that was mine.
I
That were mine since
I
years.
didn't want to tell that it was yours, but
Oh. Well, they already know, and like I told in the video. Well, not that there were a few pages missing of one of the
so they
comics.
did the Russian fix the release, or is still
No, I think they just kept it the same. They just took it without asking and just put it on, translated it, and yeah, there you have it. But Oh well, the English one has the rest, so it doesn't really matter. I don't really know why it just misses two pages, but whatever. There's already a scan of it out, so it doesn't really matter anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I did the same with Ido. Like the first version of Ido was also horrible because it was my first scan ever. I didn't know what it was doing, but that got translated. But so I just scanning the thing all again, and you get a way better version of it. It just looks way better edited, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, that really worked to do that. So I'm finally done with that video. I'm not gonna do it for a fourth time. I mean, I did it like with the iceberg video. I did that for like two times. The first time I just forgot to put on my audio, and that got me fucked over. Then I did the second time a bit, yeah, with a worse mood because I was just done with the other video, but I still got it out. Then I got in some kind of argument with him more and I wanted to see if the right guy was credited for the fucking iceberg. I'm like, who cares about crediting about an iceberg? It's an iceberg. Anybody with a bit of knowledge can make the thing. And it was just made for goofs and laughs. Hell, I even worked on it. So yeah. Oh well. And then he came back on Discord, got down, and then finally I just messaged the guy that made it, and he didn't give a shit about who was credited in it and who wasn't, and said that the guy was an asshole. I took a screenshot of that, sent it to him, and never heard anything of him again. So,
So he also made uh uh a iceberg video on the same thing.
no. He was just criticizing me on the video. There was another guy before me that made a video on the iceberg, but he only read the blame one time and nothing else. So yeah, that was a shit video, but he also called it a shit video. So I just remade it and way longer with way more info, basically.
Yeah, I don't understand how, like, neither you guys made Blam, right? Neither you guys invented the iceberg, but you have to credit him, the other guy.
Yeah,
That is,
but it's just
yeah.
none of the pictures are just owned by any of us. We're just using them. Any of the text anybody can pull from a wiki and just put them on there. That's not that difficult. So yeah, I don't know. It's just the little things that people just complain about for no reason. They just have nothing to do, so they just do that kind of stuff. I'm like, the
Yeah, like
point.
I get comments like I do animations over live action, like somebody will be like demolishing a building or something, or a building will be falling down, and people will be complaining to me that about the building falling down. It's like, yeah, I didn't build the building, I didn't break down the building. Uh, you know, somehow responsible for all this carnage.
So
It's
like,
ridiculous. You're always gonna find out. You see, one of the problem with these kinds of things is that almost anybody, any lunatic, could come and flag a channel, and then it'll be a problem for you. So,
yeah,
so it's almost like you have to. Yeah, why is it that the lowest common denominator has the control over our channels? Is ridiculous. So almost, yeah.
I mean, in the beginning on the Reddit, it was just like found so dumb that I really didn't take much attention to it. I just found too stupid to really pay attention to it. I was talking to him. And eventually, when we were on the Reddit, I put the name of the guy in the description. But after that, he said, like, you don't have the audacity or, like, you don't have the respect to put it in the title. I'm like, who gives a shit? I mean, it's in the description. You'll be glad I did that at least. So I did that. Yeah.
It's an open format. It's not.
Yeah.
You don't have anything to do with this guy.
No, of course not.
So
I want to get rid of him and not just spam the whole post on Arsa's Netsphere up with his bullshit just to get rid of him really easily. But after he came back in and did some more, I'm like, yeah, fuck you. I'm not. I'm removing the name. If the creator doesn't give a shit, then I don't give a shit either, and just remove it and just be done with it. So yeah, I got that. Oh yeah, and also, nah, never mind. That was a dumb decision, I guess. Don't need it on here, I guess. Oh well. I'm getting rid of the guy. I mean, I can guess why he would complain if the audio was as bad as my old video, basically. Then I can guess why, because you can barely understand me. So yeah, that's easy. Why I would replace that, or there is no audio, or etc. So I just changed up all that. So yeah, but dumb shit like, oh no, you need a gradation for an iceberg that was just made for shits and giggles, then no, that's a really stupid reason to go on about that. I mean, it's an iceberg. So many idiots have made one about anything. So yeah, it's just a dumb trend. And it's just like, let me make a video on it.
Yeah, you just gotta kind of, ignore a lot of people when
Yeah.
this kind of bullshit happening.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, learn it the hard way, I guess. But you learn the best with learning the hard way, I guess. I mean, there was also
oh yeah, I
the
was.
other guy. Yeah, I mean, there was also.
Oh, we know the guy.
Hmm.
Oh, you
What?
said we know the guy.
Well, no, I don't know the guy, but it was like another guy that also, like a year ago or something, or like months ago or something, also made a video on the iceberg, but in like 30 minutes or something. He didn't know anything about Blame, just read it once and nothing else. So that was kind of a shit video. But that has like 1,000 views, 1,000+ views on that, but he doesn't complain on that. So this is kind of weird that he just complains on mine, or just seen mine and looked nothing else up. So he just went to that video and just complained to me, and I responded. And I guess if he responded to the other guy, he probably wouldn't have said anything or just ignored it because he didn't credit it also. So I don't know. It's a bit stupid, but oh well. Got rid of
Yeah,
that.
don't worry about it.
Yeah.
No, oh, I mentioned I was reading no, looking at Ancient Mega's Bride. It's also kind of uh, somewhat relaxing show. Because like I was saying, I don't always want to watch the most high stakes show all the time.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I think it's Studio Wit.
Yeah.
Is it them too?
Yeah.
Yeah. But what you've been reading and or watching, Koma?
Manga. I have read something very recently, but it's a manga series that is only available in Italy, sort of available because it's out of print now. It's called Chouju Gitan. It's a story about this woman who is a ninja, and basically at this point, shinobi are basically seen as worthless because the new era is an era of peace, and during such a time, a shinobi doesn't have a place. So many who were once shinobi are now lawless criminals, and she basically, with others, hunt down those fugitive shinobis. Well, it's a nice story, but maybe too much episodic, and at the end inconclusive, because the ending is open. You don't get a real ending, but the art is really nice. I don't know if you picked up the name. Is called Chouju Gitan. I will copy paste on the chart. So if you wanna check it out, this is the name. What about you guys? Have you read something recently, or?
I thought like the manga you're describing. I think it's getting an anime pretty soon.
I don't know.
Like,
It's fair. It's not that new, actually.
No, the manga is older, but it got recently released in English, so I guess that's why they tried to make one for some reason.
It
I
was
don't know
released
really
in
why.
English, really.
Yeah, it was like last year, I think, was made into it.
Okay,
I
I'll just I'm trying to find it here. It's not
it's not licensed in English. This manga, at least,
Yeah.
Chonju Gitan.
Maybe it just sounds the same, I guess. Well, if I could copy it, it would be absolutely fantastic.
By Nagate Yuka, the author. I mean, it's pretty much
Oh
unknown.
no, it's another one. Nope.
Outside of
Never
Japan,
mind.
maybe we are in Italy the only ones who got it. Maybe, I don't know.
I wonder if I wonder if there's a fan translation. I need to
Possibly. Let's see. No. Oh no, yeah. There, but it's not completed. I mean, it's last volume 2, chapter 3. 1 month ago was the last update. Maybe, yeah, they are working on it.
Oh,
Piece scans.
okay, that's good.
So you can check it out yourself. The art is really nice. It's really nice. It kind of remind me of Blade of the Immortal. Of course, it's
Yeah, kind of has this raw style to it, a bit sketched somewhere.
Yeah. Also, it's pretty mature. There's like the erotic aspects, like. So
yeah, the girls look also pretty hot.
Surely not a manga for kids.
For the faint-hearted or like 16 or something. I mean, a 16 would probably also like this.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, and I think it's full of characters that are based on real people that were once alive, like historical people from that time. Well, I don't know if you, since there are scans, if you don't have anything better to read, and you
why not? I mean, looks pretty nice.
Shinobi, well, give it a try.
Yeah. I was actually reading well, I was reading something, but not manga. I was reading some modern cosmic horror, because like a lot of Lovecraft stuff is set in the past, but it's kind of interesting to see how that would be in the modern world, like I read something called the Immaculate Void, about like just how people in the modern world would kind of deal with and think about, like a godlike creature. Like there's these guys that I'm not even sure. It's like people just kind of want to do something for the god, this godlike being, just and just almost to kind of gain its favor somehow, Is I don't know if you've ever gotten into any cosmic horror.
Well, Lovecraft.
Koma
no.
Yeah.
But if all that stuff that is more modern and like trying to it's just how that would play out in a modern setting, because in the day of Lovecraft, science was like a lot more primitive than it is now. So it's almost like a different world at that time, because they like, what would somebody in like with like modern scientific knowledge think about these things,
Yeah. What was the name again?
The Immaculate Void. That is one of the books I was reading.
Oh, okay.
That has
okay.
And I think it's something that I don't know, is like a medium that's hard to do. It's probably easier to do in the form of a book than anything visual, because you don't actually have to draw or film the cosmically horrible thing. you could describe it, and there's like a vagueness in the description that probably adds to it. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
like a
yeah,
case where the limitation of the medium kind of adds to it. You know?
yeah, yeah, I can see it. I can see it. I mean, yeah, so a lot of games that also did that. It's just describe the thing and just don't tell you how it looks like, or like I don't know, or something like in Pulp Fiction. Like they never say what's in the suitcase, what's so nice about it, or something like that. It just make
Yeah,
you
it could be
wonder
anything.
what the mystery is.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like but would you be able to have that be kind of the primary thing in the show though? Because um like in Color Out of Space, there's like
Hmm.
literally a color that people can't seem to describe, but they've made a movie about it.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
are we
yeah,
supposed to show a color that we can't see on film?
yeah, yeah,
That is
yeah,
like
yeah.
a case of where we could have that in a book, but it's not as easy. I'm not saying the movie is still good, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah. I
not
mean, you have to fill in the blanks basically. You just have to fill in what that color would be, or what it would look like, or feel, or something like that.
yeah, like would you put up with it in a show like if they always had if it was always from the point like how they never showed us what was inside the suitcase in Pulp Fiction. They just showed us the person's face and the glow up on
Mhm.
it. So would you have put up with that in a movie like if it was we never show any the color, we just show the person's face. Maybe that might work, but it might get a little tiring.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like this show this movie was blowing up a while back, Bird Box.
Oh,
And
Bird Box. Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. A lot of people
as
hated it and loved it. Yeah, I know. You never see the
but it's kind
creature
of
unless
interesting,
you blindfolded, or else you gone mad. Yeah.
right? So like that was kind of it was divisive. Let's say that. But it was kind of annoying that they didn't ever show us. But I could kind of understand why.
Yeah.
How is that gonna work? Oh, what the hell? They have another one, Bird Box Barcelona. I literally just seeing it. Bird, I guess it's just Bird Box in Barcelona. But
Yeah, yeah,
I think
I
public
mean,
horror is you know in any
yeah,
medium. Yeah, and it's
yeah, you just have to think it up yourself, like how the creature look, or how it looks like to yourself. Like in the movie, it was more like everybody saw a different creature. They saw their own demons, basically, their own fears just manifest before them, and just whenever they whenever they saw, they tried to commit suicide. Just like they want to get away from the fear, or want to get away, or just were ordered to do so. And there was never really an explanation. The only thing that could get away from the fear is like birds or something like that at the end of the movie. It had a bit weird ending, and everybody was just happy and go lucky, and etc. 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 For the people, where like with the people with like blind people or something like that. I don't know. Oh well.
spoilers, I suppose, for whole a older movie. But yeah, it wasn't really like a huge like somehow I knew what the twist was coming. And I was like, oh wow, who could it be that would be the people that would be immune to this creature that makes you go crazy if you see it. It
Yeah,
seemed it seemed almost obvious, but I don't know.
yeah,
Like yeah,
yeah,
like I
yeah.
say, it's hard to do cosmic horror.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It can succeed, and it can also really fail. It just falls flat on its face. It's pretty difficult to do. Like it's like with Annihilation, for instance. They also did it pretty well. It's just all the creatures that was just misformed through it to an alien life form that can just create anything they want and just create the perfect copy of someone.
Yeah, I also read the books for that. You know, the book is also interesting, and it I think Annihilation, and I'm not sure if Annihilation only adapts the first book. Um, but you know, there's a lot of disturbing body horror stuff in the book too that is not really in, you know,
Yeah.
expounded upon in the show. But yeah, that
Yeah.
is also something that you know, about body horror is also something that, you know, I look out for in shows. Is also something that's I think a lot of people don't like to tackle it too much in shows. I almost feel like since so many people can't take it, you know, they try to keep it to a minimum and stuff.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah,
Oh well.
I saw Alien Resurrection. There's this part. You ever saw Alien Resurrection? You know, there's this part where they were making clones of Ripley, right? So and there was like this deformed clone. Yeah, kind of a famous moment, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the more movies they made, the less that made sense, I guess. But means almost the originals work better than the rest. But oh well. By the way, have you heard of Clune Generic Romance? It's based on the Clune walled city from the 90s.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's also it's like a nice story, a nice romantic story. It just goes about this girl that just works in an office, gets in love with a guy, but doesn't really want to see them or like see each other as that they're a couple or in love in any way. And it's also like set in the far future somehow because there's just a giant Earth or like a copy of the Earth is built above the city as a sort of like haven for it, but it's just like the background mystery to it, and you just get a full like a view of like the mini city that they're in, like Gloomwald city from the 90s that was just really packed with people and really packed with all these buildings, but still could work it all out. Like it's pretty nice. It's also a bit relaxing, you could say. That's why I had it so long on here because I want to talk about it. But yeah.
Okay, so it's currently only a manga, right?
Yeah, it's a manga.
Same author as the author did After the Rain, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
I think After the Rain. Yeah, it's the same style. Yeah, I think it was After the Rain. It's the same author as that.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not normally a genre that I read a lot, you know. Apart from what was it? There was Fox and what was that? And it's getting another adaptation.
Oh, what was it called?
It's something with a fox.
Oh,
Fox and something.
Oh, you mean Spice and Wolf?
Spice and Wolf, right, yeah.
Yeah,
what the hell am I saying?
Yeah, it's a new adaptation. True, yeah.
Oh yeah, they are doing an anime. Yeah. I have heard about it. I'm not.
Yeah, no, that is a. Sorry, what did you say, Koma?
Yeah, no, I'm not so sure about how to feel about it, the new Spice and Wolf adaptation, because I've seen the first two back in the day, and basically we were expecting a sequel, but in the end they are doing like a remake. They start from the beginning, basically.
True.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of annoying, right? Because that means we'll have to wait again.
Yeah,
we'll have to wait until it catches up, and then yeah. But I was trying to I was reading the anime. I mean the manga. But I still haven't caught up to where the series ended. But the world seems interesting.
Mm, it's a more
It
economic
seems
driven
it seems.
story.
Well, I just saying it seems to have like a lot more magical elements coming up later on.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
it's a bit, yeah, it's a
um,
bit folklore story, a bit with just like it's basically economics told through cute wolf that just wants apples all day long. It's a bit like Ryuk, but better looking, basically, and also with some drama in it, and also other things about it. And it was loved by fans for like many years, like last season, or like 2009 or something, or like later or something like that. But yeah, it's been like a good 10 years since that came out last time. But yeah, maybe they're gonna finish it this time. I mean, I guess if it says identical of a cold falling nowadays, just why would it be abandoned again? But you never know. Maybe we get the whole thing. Maybe we don't. I hope so.
yeah, knock on wood. Another
Yeah.
anime that is totally different is the Claymore anime is like huge. It's like a huge. There's a huge amount more than what was adapted, but there was an actual ending in the anime. But
Mm-hmm.
that's a thing in like so much anime. I find it hard to believe that the in so many cases the anime series catches up to the manga. You would think that would be impossible, especially when they have such a head start. But it seems to happen all the time.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And the art for Claymore gets on a whole other level closer to the end. I think. I don't. You've read it out?
Hmm?
Have you read out the Claymore manga?
No, no, no. I haven't read it. I haven't seen it either. But I know some stuff about it. I guess I still have to get into the manga. I know the art is pretty good, and that it's been reflected with Berserk. Obviously, it's the same type of stuff. Obviously, creatures and kind of setting. Also, the Middle Ages, obviously. So yeah, and it's also pretty hard to get
Yeah.
manga in one fell swoop for a good price. So yeah, I'll probably read it online at some point. I don't know when though. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Some of the art is I wouldn't say it's quite berserk, but I mean definitely influenced by it.
Mm-hmm.
Monster designs too, monster designs and stuff. And
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
ending
yeah.
actually feels like it almost feels like we should be seeing. It almost feels like it hints that they would one day explore the wider world, but that doesn't seem to be happening.
No, 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 not yeah. I don't know. Maybe they just didn't have that much time to really explore the further world and just to be this one story and nothing more. So that's kind of a problem. Oh yeah, Pluto is never getting a new adaptation. Like next season is coming out, so that's probably really interesting to see if it works in anime. I've read it in manga for like a few years ago, but I don't know. I found it a bit too boring for me, a bit too much plot heavy, I guess. But maybe I like it now better. But who knows?
That the same guy who wrote 20th Century Boys?
Yeah, yeah, and Monster. Yeah, Urasawa.
What about Asadora? The latest one is doing right now.
Oh, Asadora. That's not getting an anime. I know it just as a manga. Yeah, it's been out for like 5 volumes as a manga, 4 or 5 or something.
Mm,
It's also in English. I know that. Don't know other languages though. Maybe in Italy. I don't remember if it was in Italy.
yeah, it is in Italy. I mean,
Uh,
it's Urasawa, so you can expect it to be released everywhere either way. So
yeah. It's obviously really well-known author, so obviously they're gonna release it everywhere. I mean, it's been a few years since Pluto was announced that it's gonna be an anime, but that was like years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago that it was announced, and nothing came from it. But hey, finally getting there. So hope that works.
So
And you know,
he actually so they had to get the rights from Tezuka to do this, or
yeah, it's like more a joint project. This was like for an anniversary, I thought, and Urasawa was also grown up with the manga, so he wanted to do with another author to make it into a manga, basically. They
okay.
want to make it as just a new story, but still as close to the original as it was, basically. They didn't want to betray the original author, basically, in a nutshell, as if I remember correctly.
Okay, so it's kind of I guess something like a more grounded take on it, or
Yeah, kind of. It's like the main story of like Atom fighting the big robot with the horns and just trying to find the mystery on why he kills them all and how they can stop him, basically. With our main inspector just trying to solve the case, basically, which are just all robots that can kill humans but still can arrest them other things because there was a big robot war or several big robot wars that just ended with that. From what I remember from the original manga, how that went. The trailer looked pretty good though. It's done by Netflix this time.
so they actually have a budget? Because I feel like sometimes Netflix you know don't look like they have the budget like
Ready
I don't know.
for what?
What do you think of the animation in Devilman?
In what?
What do you think of the animation in Devilman?
In Devilman, pretty good. It was done with Tezuka. Like the characters were really Tezuka. That we really went all out of that, but not with the background. The background was not Tezuka at all. That was just a bit generic and a bit plain, I guess. I mean, if he had done it like I don't know, Kaiba or something, or like Tatami Galaxy, for instance, that would be even more out there, obviously. But it was still a good series, I guess. It went down from there, though. It was all kid movies and just didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't quite get into the art. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too hard, but it's like a very kind of loose style. A very
Yeah, it's a lot fluent animation, you could say. It's just all lots of experimentation, lots of just going balls to the walls with it, basically. Having your own take on it. It's nothing like the 70s version, but that's pretty dated. And with the top of the time, it's also pretty funny. So, it's just a different
but
time altogether. So, it's pretty difficult to do, obviously. The manga does a better
the
good
animation.
job at it. Hmm?
I see the animation is crazy though. The in the original one.
Yeah.
The
Oh, yeah. They still do some fucked up shit, obviously, and and go places, obviously, because they had more freedom back then, so they could just do whatever, basically. And I
yeah, I thought it
heard
was
that.
it but that was only like a tiny adaptation, right? The rest of it was uh the but Devilman Crybaby is the entire thing, or is
Yeah,
also
basically, it had the beginning and the end. Yeah, it had everything. I guess maybe they just put out a few things which was in the manga but not in the anime. But yeah, it has the whole story basically. Yeah. It was the whole story. Not much else put into it, I guess. But pretty good all together, obviously. And I know that US has been doing some OPs again, animating those. So maybe it gets back in the saddle and get us some better anime, but I don't know.
This is the same Devilman.
Mm,
Is it? You're
let me.
saying Devilman getting another
No,
adaptation?
no. It was only Devilman Cry baby. Right. Yeah, this is one. It's the only one that's been out. Basically, nothing new has been. It's like this one was from 2018. Yeah, it's been a few years, almost 4
Okay.
years.
But yeah, I kind of get the feeling Yuasa kind of just did it more for the money.
Yeah,
Not. I mean. I don't know.
yeah,
It's
that was
not like you
yeah.
mentioned. You mentioned Kaiba. You know.
Hmm.
Yeah. I feel like the style works better for that. But it's also
Mm.
it's also that like Kaiba is like incredibly dark. You know.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it goes places.
especially given the style, like that makes it worse. You know.
Yeah, it looks
Like
so
there's this.
cartoony and fun and light and etc. And then you have all these teams and like, oh fuck.
Yeah, like there's this part where this guy is holding, the memory crystal of his dead mother that he never had the money to revive, and he friggin' drops it, you know?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
and just like that, Man, that show is messed up. Jesus Christ. What was
yeah.
was was Crybaby like that? As messed up as that? Because
I mean,
I mean a lot of
it was the original story
Mhm.
basically, and it was still fucked up. Oh yeah, it's fucked up moments with the girlfriend being messed up pretty badly. Yeah, that
yeah,
is still fucked up moments. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
It's just different than Kaiba altogether. I mean, in Kaiba they also all died, and in Devilman they all died. So yeah, that kind of the same ending. But yeah, I don't know. Kaiba has just a bit more extra. Just the animation just goes all the way with it. It doesn't stop. It doesn't go numb on you. It just goes and goes and goes and goes basically. It does
Yeah,
not
you
go.
see, I think there is a difference between when people making something for Netflix and when they're making something for themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like it was closer. Making Kaiba was like a personal thing,
Yeah,
and him
yeah,
making
personal
Devilman
touch.
was kind of all right. Well, I'm doing this for the sweet sweet Netflix money, so I could make something else like Kaiba, maybe.
Yeah, with his style, obviously, or just his directing in this case. I
Yeah,
mean,
I do need to finish. Well, I just saying I do need to finish Crybaby though. But it's I didn't realize at the time it was Yuasa.
Really?
But I could, yeah. And I mean, I don't feel like it's you see because I'm also thinking about the original, and the original had some really good animation.
Yeah,
Even if you
yeah.
think,
If you think about the movies or OVA, like the original series, a bit, not highest production, I guess, but yeah, the movies and OVA, I
oh,
can get
sorry,
that.
talking about the OAV in the 90s, was it?
Yeah, I-90s, 80s, yeah.
Right.
The OVs
That
are
one
really,
had
really
some.
good.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, the OV are
The
really, really good. The late
Yeah.
90s, early 2000, early nine, yeah, late 80s, maybe 89 was the
Yeah.
first.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, no, not the.
early 90s, late 80s. Two
Yeah,
Devilman, the Bird, and the Siren RP. I don't.
yeah, and it was,
The Bird, yeah, but they were awesome and really faithful to the manga. I don't know about Crybaby because I haven't watched it. But I've read the manga from start to finish, and the OVs from the 80s and the 90s were really good. I don't know about the Amon ones. Maybe they are not as good, probably. I mean, for what I've seen. Also, Amon is another spin-off of Devilman that I haven't read. Their manga is out there. I don't know if you are familiar with it. It's part of the Devilman universe.
He
okay.
also had Devilman
Well,
Lady, I remember.
Yeah. There's also like basically the guy did so much. He reused the Devilman team over and over during all this time. But even Mao Dante is like the prototype of Devilman. It's a manga. It's like it was interrupted, but the core themes about that you can find in Devilman are also present in Mao Dante. And after Devilman, he continued to reuse the same concept and did other stuff like Devil Lady, and did another manga that is basically about how he did Devilman. I don't remember the title now, though.
how about the
Gekiman is the name of the manga. Manga about
I feel like
how
I've seen
the guy
that.
did Devilman, basically. I don't think it's really. It was released in English officially.
So wait, you're saying is that behind the scenes of it, or like behind the scenes of
Kind of. I mean, it explains how he did Devilman, basically. So this is the
okay.
the Italian.
You could drop the link in the in the chat.
Yeah.
So that we could check it out.
If you open it, you see like basically that in the cover you can see the guy. The title says how I created Devilman in Italian. So it's basically about how he did it. It's a 3-volume box set.
Ah, yeah, I see.
Okay, it's interesting to see this kind of behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like one of the things that I always wonder is how much of the work in making manga is actually the assistants. You know, I think the assistants do a lot of stuff, but we don't ever really know about them. All we know about is the creator of the manga. You know, a lot of times it seems like that is all we hear about. But I suspect I suspect the assistants do a lot of the work. You know, all the background characters, all the maybe all the grunt work. You know, all the I suppose maybe the repetitive work. You know, like when they're drawing, you know, every individual window on a building and that sort of stuff in the Akira cityscapes. I know for sure Otomo must have had assistants when he was making that manga.
Oh yeah, the assistants. I know that.
Yeah. Or one interesting factoid about the Akira DVD. When I tried to play it, I tried to record it onto VHS from my friend's PS2, and I don't know how the thing used to notice. It used to put distortion on the screen only when you press record on the VHS. You know, that is like it seems like that is almost space age technology. Like, how does the DVD know that I'm recording on the VHS? because like you could pass through um you could pass through the PS2 through the VHS so that there's an input and use that to record, right? So like I always wondered how it knew only to distort the image only when I was recording, That's
Maybe
like
it was built in before that they knew that somebody would do that, so they just built it in to do that.
But it would have to be something in the VHS player.
Yeah, that just doesn't connect
But
right, so they do that.
Yeah, it's weird. This is something that modern viewers wouldn't really understand.
No.
It's kind of like a relic of the past age. But I still got a copy anyway later on, right? So it's like somebody find a way how to rip it out. This was before, like I said, it was early days of DVDs, so there was not a lot of people making DVDs, unless people have heavy DVD players. So the PS2 was really a deal back then. I think maybe that is why I don't know, maybe it was part of why the Dreamcast wasn't as successful.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I saw a bit about it, but I forgot what it was about again. I mean, it was about the Dreamcast just not doing that well, and just if the and no, wait. It was on the DVD system. If they never put the DVD in the PlayStation 2, they probably would make more Dreamcast versions of it or something like that. I don't know. I saw a video on that somebody talked about Dreamcast and the DVD functions.
You mean because of the lack of storage?
Yeah, maybe it was something about what was it about again? It was about no, it was about another player, and it was a DVD player that also could play games. And if that thing didn't exist, they probably wouldn't have. Then the makers for the PlayStation 2 wouldn't have seen it. They wouldn't put the DVD in it, or just have prolonged it for just games. And then wait, I can find this video. I know that. Yeah, I can find this video. Let me look. Let me look. Where is it? History.
But it was an actual different device. It wasn't a PS2, but it was something that could play games.
It was way older. It was like made in 1995. It came out like 2003. It was basically forgotten. It was a DVD player that could play games.
Not the new one. I think that was one of them. The new one. The new one.
New one.
NUON.
And maybe. Where is this thing? God damn it.
There was a lot of obscure consoles that was released when everybody was trying to make the next thing.
Wait, maybe I can find another way.
There's anything that I was like, such a huge, a huge switch moving from VHS to DVD. For a long time, we used to get like rips from DVD, so we would see the DVD menu and stuff on the VHS, I don't know if you remember that. Maybe Koma would remember that.
Mm-hmm. Not.
Yeah. That was I don't know. It's almost nostalgic to see that sort of stuff, you know.
Oh yeah.
But that was how they did it here for like many years because DVD players didn't get cheap. Probably until like the mid 2000s here. You know, and when they
mid 2000, they were. I mean, they became really cheap. I think in the early after like 2010, maybe they were like inexpensive for the most part. I mean, at least here in Italy.
I remember people would act like, you know, they would look at the disc when he was renting it and they would say, okay, there's a scratch here, here, and here. If you get any more scratches when this thing come back, you know, you're gonna have to pay. I mean, and now those discs are like disposable. You know, it was just such a crazy time, you know.
All right.
Like, but I'm glad. Yeah, there was like illegal places all over the place. How was it in Italy? Did the police care about VHS and DVD?
Yeah.
So the police actually cracked down on people?
They used it.
Oh well, found it. That's this one, The Curse of the New One. That's the DVD player.
Let's see.
Right. I was looking at something about this. The yeah, they were trying to make it like interactive. Yeah, I follow this guy. Yeah, that is one of the videos I saw about it. Yeah, they were trying to make like interactive movies and stuff, and or kind of hitchhike onto the popularity of DVDs, you know, and you know, it's just so interesting to see all these failed formats, you know. I don't know if you remember HD DVD.
Yeah, HD DVD was a flop, I think. Like didn't compete with Blu-ray. It was like the first Xbox or no, the 360. The 360 had the HD DVDs. I think.
Oh, it wasn't included in it, but there was an add-on for it. So you had to get an external HD DVD drive for your Xbox 360. You know, it's just such a crazy thing to think about. You know, like you have a console and has a DVD drive, but you need a next disc drive to play HD DVDs. You know, and that was probably like
they sell still HD DVDs here in Italy. At least on Amazon there are a few. If you are interested.
Oh, for new movies?
Yeah. There's not much.
No, these are
movies.
These are official releases.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Like this one.
That is really interesting. So that is a dead format in most places, but they're still making them for that market. So was HD DVD actually kind of successful there?
No. It's like you can find the leftovers maybe.
Okay.
But, so they still don't even Blu-ray here is pretty much dead or almost dead. It's a niche.
Yeah. But there's still some people holding out. You know, still using it.
Well, of course. I mean, if you go around inside stores, even supermarkets, you will find small corners where you can see small selections of movies in DVD, Blu-rays, but it's almost non-existent nowadays. At least here, I don't know in your countries, guys, but
barely. You see, most people I think have right? So most people have moved on to kind of streaming and downloading, and the people that haven't, they are still okay with DVDs.
Yeah, probably. Some
If that
people
makes sense.
are fine with DVDs quality even if they are going to watch them on a HD television. I mean, if they think it's right, they can watch them. But to me, it's a waste of. I mean, wouldn't mind having a few movies on DVD or Blu-ray, but the convenience of getting them online is impossible to overcome. Like, why would I want to go back and use optical media in 2023? I
Yeah,
mean,
or
Yeah, and then
VHS.
there's
That's
this.
also gonna
I
fail.
mean, maybe if I like find a cool limited edition, or if I get the space and so I am able to invest and build a collection that I can like showcase on shelves that I built for that reason. But otherwise, like stacking up DVDs, I don't know. Like when it comes to collecting stuff, it's tricky.
Yeah, is
Mm.
like I said, the space. The space is kind of
Yeah, it's a big
a
factor.
difficult.
You can, I like, unless you want to become an hoarder and don't have the space to move around in your house, you must make choices. Like, you must limit your spendings on physical media, or you must sell the stuff that you don't want to keep, or something like that. Fortunately, this is how it
Yes,
works. It's
yeah,
tough.
it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you no longer get how do you call it, extras. They don't even put extras or commentaries on the streaming services.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, true,
uh,
true, true. So you
which
have
is
to find it yourself somewhere.
yeah, which is like a big detraction. I think it's a pity that we can't get them anymore. Uh,
Yeah.
I used to like that stuff, and well, obviously, digital doesn't really have a lot of Easter eggs. You know, that was something people used to hunt for on the DVDs.
Yeah, the DVD and like multiple extras. Indeed,
Mm.
you don't get anything like that on Prime Video or Netflix, maybe. Most
Yeah.
of the
But
time, you
also like
get
from
the
game
movie,
companies.
you can choose the language, the subtitles, but that's about it. The resolution, of course, the quality of the.
Yeah. And then many secrets of errors or something
Well,
like on the
well,
AVA
it's the
DVDs or
trade.
anything.
Yeah, it's the trade-off. Basically, you give up something to get something else. You exchange
Here, obviously, the
the
quality
novelty
is better,
of
but
putting a DVD inside of a DVD drive in exchange of the convenience of watching something streaming on a live streaming platform.
yeah,
Yes,
basically.
yeah. I mean the alternative now, if you want stuff offline, is you just need a hard drive, which hasn't really changed since um 2000 2001, since I've been downloading stuff. But you would only get you obviously wouldn't get any extras or behind the scenes or whatever.
No, you don't.
Which I think is like shouldn't Disney and these guys be putting the extras if they're still making them onto the streaming services too? As like, because
Yeah.
it's added value for them too. One would think so.
Mm,
There's like a lot of
nowadays,
extras.
yeah. I mean, nowadays they're gonna make a lot of live action versions of their existing IPs just to get some extra money, so they don't really care for the extras, or they're just gonna put out the extras from the original movies that were already out. But it's just nowadays more about just making money and nothing else, not going after like the best animation anymore, or just have some quality in there. It's just to make some quick money. Like recently was the newest live action of Little Mermaid out, but it's just
God,
yeah,
like
obviously doesn't
that
work.
live action is basically yikes.
Yeah,
I don't want to
too
talk about it.
realistic of animals that look like horrendous to kids, or like the acting not that great, or just like all these stuff that just falls flat on his face, basically. Like, why even make this? You already have the original, but yeah, it's just purely for money. It's like with Mulan, they did it. The Lion King, they did
Yeah.
it.
The Lion King was completely useless in my opinion. Like you take away the charm of the animation
Mm,
from the 90s.
Oh, but now you could see every follicle of hair on them. Doesn't that mean it's better?
Mm.
I think that is the outlook that these guys have. Yeah, it's just is yeah. Well, and if you think about it, they call it a live action remake, but it's more CG than anything. Isn't it even
yeah,
more animated now? And is also hideous. It's like
Sure.
I would say the hand-drawn ones hold up much better, right?
yeah, of course. I mean, that worked way better for the kids, and for years later, it still looked great, or the songs were still great, etc., etc. And there's something to look even 10 and 20 years after it was made, still to look at. And now you look at CGI that in 10 years' time is gonna look shit, or just looks too horrendous. I mean, I guess the guy, the director of that movie, wanted to make originally a nature documentary, and it makes so realistic as possible, and etc., etc., etc. And I guess he put those ideas in this, but obviously that doesn't work for like 5 to 8 year old kids, or like adults that also want to see it. And you get this, like, characters with lifeless eyes that have no character or whatnot, or old actors that bring back, but their voices just fucked. So just yeah, no, it doesn't work. It's just gonna age really bad, and just people are looking back on like, why was this ever made? It was a giant flop. Hey, let's go back to the 90s anime. And this thing is like 30 years old and still holds up way better than anything else they made.
Yeah, I think that is one of the big problems with CG. It ages pretty fast,
Hmm.
you know. And maybe I think the original Toy Story holds up because it's toys. If it wasn't toys, if it was like a lot of yeah, like whenever you see the real people, they look like demons.
Yeah.
As compared to the toys, which is like, well, okay, this thing is like plastic, is actually plastic, so it makes sense for it to look like plastic.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
actually chose the perfect story to adapt, right? Or not adapt. They chose the perfect story to make because
Yeah.
they know the limitations at the time. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, for Store Story, it worked. Obviously, that was like the first full CGI movie that they made for like Pixar. Yeah, Pixar it was. So that worked. Pixar did a lot of good stuff, like in the early days. I mean, I guess the Toy Story movies, they just did that way too long, for a too long time. They also made from Buzz Lightyear an animation I saw back in the day. That was also pretty fun. I liked also a lot of that. It was also completely fully 2D. There was a movie of that and a series of that. Remember, I had it on VHS back in the day. Man, I played it thing so many times. So, like, early days of science fiction that I saw. So obviously I had to watch all of that. But yeah, that was the good the night. But that's also on no streaming site whatsoever. It's just been on TV, maybe VHS DVD, and that's it. Nothing else. Just on. Yeah, they probably don't have the rights for it, or just have problems with that. But I don't know what happened to that. And
yeah.
yeah, beyond that.
They could easily memory hold something. You know, they could
Mm,
just take it off, and then it's no longer legally available ever again.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like how many series now probably exist only on streaming,
Yeah, well, a lot of shitty series or so like decent series that aka nobody wants to watch or just made for the platform and just gets stuck there or eventually gets booted off and just replaced with something else. It happens with anime too and other movies. It just or like Akira or something or like Cowboy Bebop. There was once on Netflix, booted off. Then the new live action Bebop came on, and then that came back. Also the same with Evangelion. That came finally on Netflix for like a huge sum, so that got booted on. But it gets off and on for constantly. So yeah, and with and with a VPN, you get more chance to watch more series on different platforms in different languages, like like Japan or America or like I don't know any other country that has it. But yeah,
Yeah, well, at least that one is available in a lot of places. It's not available to stream, but it's available. I feel like it may later on there may be things that nobody ever bothered to record, and maybe not that good, but there should still be a record of it, right?
yeah,
There should still be like like we might be living in an age now where there's more lost media than anything, and we don't even know it.
Yeah. Especially with something like YouTube. There's so many videos are getting booting off, and without even knowing, it's just gonna be gone, or like archive.org, or like any other site. Nowadays, they are under scrutiny of these companies and just getting lost left and right.
Yeah. If there's and I mean, I'm sure you've had favorite videos of yours delisted. You know what? You ever like go onto like an old playlist that you made, and you see something like private videos not shown or something like that,
Remember
or deleted videos.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
many
you
times.
have no way to know. It could be anything.
Yeah.
It's insane. At least I wish they would have at least told you what it was.
Yeah. And then you have a memory, maybe find it somewhere else, or could have archived it somewhere, and then bingo.
Yeah, some of them is like I don't even remember what I was saving, but the fact that I saved it means that it would have had to have been good. It would have to have been something that was worth saving. And you know what? Like a few of them I actually did remember, and I was able to find them. Like you said, I found them on like
Vimeo.
Yeah, weirdly, one was on not even one of them was on like Nico or something like that. Nico video or something. Yeah, and it was like it wasn't even Japanese to begin with. It was some. I can't remember what it was, but basically it was something like, "Why is this here?" I mean, I'm glad that it's here, but it's like this is the last place I would ever have expected to see it.
Yeah. We still found it somehow. Yeah. I mean, with some videos I've watched it so many times that I basically remember the whole video, and the uploader just removes it for some reason. I'm like, why? You're like the only guy that talked ever about this, and like the only archive of this, like really obscure shit. Wish I downloaded the video myself and archived it somewhere else, but of course I didn't. Can't have it all, I guess.
We don't even have all the. We wouldn't even have the space for half of it. It would be impossible. Like that's part of why. Like we can't. Even if we could download it, could download all of them. It would cost. It would be terabytes of footage.
Memory left, and just put it on sites and also on the scrutiny, and can we also be gone? And then what's left? Nothing. Just their own copies. Rating before.
I think like the increasing guidelines is gonna make old videos the old videos will be flagged. Like I sure one day Filthy Franco's channel is gonna be flagged, and that's gonna be
of course.
a big piece of internet culture just gone. Whether you like it or not, isn't really important. It should still always be a record. It should still always be.
I mean,
I believe in keeping a record, At the very least, if you don't want it on a channel. Like there was this one guy, he he realized he wouldn't have the time to make videos anymore, so he deleted the whole channel. It's like, why would you do that? You know, wouldn't even you want to have a record of it?
Yeah.
But I mean,
you
some
just
people are like that,
can't
you
do
know.
more of it all anymore.
Yeah, it's like
You just
uh
made lost media in one go. Just real easy.
yeah, yeah, it's crazy. You know, and so many things like that are hanging by a thread, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's even things that I have made that I don't even have the original copy of, and YouTube has it. You
Fuck.
know, the old backups of versions and stuff. You know, like I would have versions that are you know I don't even have it anymore, but
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
uploaded it. Yeah,
yeah. Fuck.
you know, so it's
I mean, can
yeah.
even happen to Insane's videos, for instance. I mean, for now, the videos on YouTube are only channels that have no YouTube videos are gonna be gone. But yeah, for how long is that gonna hold? So how long are our Insane's videos gonna hold up? Or hell, even mine videos. I mean, I put it up yesterday, but yeah, you never know. I mean, I don't think copyright will strike mine down anytime soon because who the fuck knows these things? Nobody. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Is but I think that they've said that they wouldn't be deleting inactive channels, right?
No, with videos, not. Only inactive YouTube, no inactive Google accounts, so that no videos will be deleted just to keep it safe.
Ah,
And the
okay.
ones with videos will stay, but we don't know for how long that will last, though. For how long that rule will last till they also strike those down. But for now, we're safe with that, I guess.
I wonder if they're trying to probably save the drive space because like there's a lot of inactive accounts that probably using the 5 gigabytes that they give you for free or whatever,
Mm.
and they probably want to save that, want to recover that,
Yeah. If they have
you
something
know.
of value still on there, maybe emails or something else they put in there.
Yeah, but it's still kind of annoying though because hasn't storage decreased in price exponentially since those were created? So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, why would they delete this for? You know, is it really saving you that much money? Like, aren't you like a trillion
Mm.
dollar company or something?
Yeah, well,
I
it
don't
was more
know.
for security purposes that these accounts that don't have double
Too far.
verification, for instance, would be would be easier to infiltrate and get all your data, etc., etc., etc. So that's why that's the reason for deleting all that stuff, basically for deleting all those accounts if you haven't done any verification for your account, like a password or anything else.
Yeah, so it's I don't know. At least make it read only. You know.
Mm, true.
Yeah.
But okay. It's been 2 hours, like 2 hours and 12 minutes. So let's end it here. We'll see
All
each
right.
other next time or so.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. See you guys
okay.
next time.
See you
See
guys.
you.
It was a pleasure to be here again.
Sure. Well,
Yeah,
that
for
was it
sure.
for Mori. And we'll see you next time. Subscribe or whatnot. And bye.
Bye bye.
Later.